Dude, that is the loudest 415 setup I've ever heard.
Poppa up in the house, yeah, man. So we're getting ready to do an install on the 2001 Honda Accord. It'll be a full install. We're going to replace the speakers, and we're going to do a radio, and we're going to do an amp and subs, all of that good stuff. Now, all of the equipment was brought to me and everything. It's all the equipment. So make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button. Turn on your bell notifications so you can know when I'm posting a video of any vehicle that I do. And go ahead and let's get started. Yeah, man. So we got some MB cords in a very nice box here. I like the box. Looks real good. And what is this amp? This is a Planet Audio, I believe. So we're gonna go ahead and do some tests and make sure that the speakers arm out. And most of you guys know what I mean by that. But as you can see, it's 7. So we're gonna check that. We gotta pull the speakers out to find out what's going on with that and why it's reading 7. Let's see what that one. Same thing. So it could be 8 or whatever it could be, but we're gonna find out. Let's go ahead and pull the speakers out so we can get them tested. Careful here. All right, so let's test the sub out and see exactly what it is. Okay, so these are dual 4s. So they wired them up to wire them back down. So what we'll do, we can definitely run this thing at a 1-arm load whenever we put them back in. But it's got those on it, really thin wires. So I may just go ahead and upgrade those while I'm at it. I don't know if I have any of those connectors, but we'll see what I can do to try to make this thing just a tad bit better. But looks like we're working with dual 4s. So let's check the other coil just to make sure. They both armed out while I was in there, so. Yep. It's like dual 4s. Look at all of that trunk space right there. Oh, man. I like this little Honda, man. I like it. So this is why you take stuff out. If you look right there, this box is busted. And this is 1/2 inch MDF, so it's definitely a prefab. And I think what happened, could be possible, that whenever this amp was mounted to the box, it might have cracked it. But I could probably put a little brace or something in there to keep it together, but I don't know. It's gonna be their decision. This is a little starter, so we'll see. So the radio we're installing is a JVC KDX 270BT digital multimedia receiver. And the digitals doesn't have a CD player in it. That's the reason why the DIN is so small. So that's the reason why you get this little joker here, because there's no CD player. And it does have one rear, says rear dash slash SW for subwoofer. So that's for the subwoofer for the back of that unit. So let's go ahead and get these wires soldered up and go ahead and get to the taking the radio out and putting it in. Alright, so if you take a look right here, I got them all twisted together except for the power. So I twist up the speakers first, and we'll go ahead and get my wire, get my soldering wire right here. I use it thin. This is the one I use. 0.8. Turn that light off. It's a little bright. Well, there we go. This is a 0.8 millimeter, and this is the one I use. So we'll go ahead and sponge off my iron. This is the iron, and go ahead and get this done. Alright, so now that we got the harness all wired up, I usually add a little extra tape on the power wire and the ACC wire, but it's soldered up under there and heat shrink. But I just always add a little extra tape on there. So now all we got to do is, oh yeah, and just so you can see the ground, what I did was cross it in here, wire it together, and then here's the out that goes to the chassis. All right, there are two screws down here at the bottom of this unit, and what you want to do is go ahead and remove these two screws first. Up here at the top, this clock piece comes out, so I'm gonna get my pry tool and take this out. And since we already got the battery unplugged, we can go ahead and unplug this clock. And then that way that'll get us to get to that screw right there holding in the panel. Alright, so now since we got the clock removed, we can go ahead and take this screw out right here. And then we'll see if I can get my finger in there. No, can't get my finger in there, so there we go. And now we should be able to go ahead and take our trim panel tool and go around here and pop it out. Alright, so pried this out and we disconnected it from the AC unit. So now all we got to do is take the radio out, which there are a screw there, screw there, screw there, screw there, and then this unit will pop on out. So let's go ahead and take care of that. Oh. And disconnect this radio. The antenna, and there goes the factory. All right, now let's go ahead and get a remote wire down there, because it'll be on this side and then the RCA's will be on this side. So we'll go ahead and get those dropped through, and then we need to get the B pillar off, the A pillar off, so we can go ahead and put the mic. I like to always put the mic right here, so it doesn't catch a whole lot of noise from everything else. All right, so now that we took the seat out, we got a little bit more room to work with to try to get this wire ran for the amplifier. It's only going to be 4 gauge right now. If they want to come back and do a 1 off, we'll do that. But for right now, they only brought me 4 gauge, and that's what we're going to run. So. All right, I always look for a spot up under here if I can't get inside of the grommet to run the wire through the firewall. Usually always you can, but in this little Honda right there, there's a spot you can drill in there and it leads into the inside. Now there's also a spot right there, but we're gonna try this spot right here because it's up a little higher and it's closer to the grommet. So if you go up underneath the vehicle, you'll be able to see that it's an opening right there to the side. So I'm gonna try to spot that dead in the middle and get it opened up to where I can fit the 4 gauge wire in there. Now I left my drill hanging in there, and I'm gonna show you guys where that hole came out. This is usually next to the brake booster. See down in there? It's right there. If you can see the drill bit coming out of there, that's where it's at, and that's where it ends up coming out at. And you can do a whole bunch of holes right there, and as long as you not going close to the brake booster, so basically that way you should be good to go. Yeah, man. Alright guys, so we got the wire. You can kind of see it up there. It's up under the carpet. Comes right there. Goes inside behind the panel. And then what we'll do, we'll bring it out right there inside of the trunk. And we'll try to bring it out of one of these pieces right here. I'm guessing we'll put a hole somewhere in here to pull the wire through. But that's how we have to do it. Yeah, man. Now we move on to replacing the 6x9s in the rear deck. Now there are 2 Phillips screws that holds the grill on from the inside of the trunk, and you will find them right there and right there, and that's as well on the other side. So if you look inside of the holes, you'll see the Phillips head screws, because you got to unscrew so you can take off the grills in the front and then turn around and remove the speaker from the screws that's inside of the vehicle. So let's go ahead and do that. So now that we have those screws removed, we just pop this grill off. Here's the old, very old 2001 6x9 that's coming out with some new ones. So let's take this out, this one. Here's a grill for this one that comes up and out of there. And we're gonna take these out and give them some new ones. Alright, so now we got the radio back in. And we get ready to plug all of this up because we don't want to throw any codes or anything on the vehicle. We got the seat plug back up. We got the seat back in and got it plugged back up because we don't want to throw any codes on the vehicle as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get all of this plugged up and turn the radio on and see what happens. All right, let's see if this bad boy cuts on. Fingers crossed. Yeah, yeah, man. So I'm sitting here looking at the terminals on these speakers and check that out. There's an LED option on here. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on, let me turn this light off. See that? It's an LED option on here. I don't know what it lights up, but let's see. Alright, so we got the battery plugged up. Let's see if it lights up anything. MB Court lights up. Cool. Not gonna put that on. I mean, that wasn't in the deal, so if you want to do that later, we'll come back and do that. But it requires some more wiring and a switch and all of that stuff to make sure the subs cut off, obviously, but it's pretty cool. All right, now that we got everything hooked up on this side, I don't like the way this thing, there we go. Let's see what we ohm out at. We're looking for 4 ohm. And there we go. So we got the box in, and I think what I'm going to do is put the amp right here. I'm going to put some little blocks up under there so the amp will grab to the blocks, and then it'll be mounted right there. Got the connections done for this little bitty old amp, and there's a remote wire. Of course, there's no power going to any of this right now. Got to plug the fuse up front, so these will go directly to the amp. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get the blocks. I've already got those cut somewhere, and there's the blocks right here. And just put those there like that, so that way the amp has something to mount to. And put it up under there so it'll grab this, so whenever you'll see what I'm talking about. Alright guys, so the amp is secured, and as you can see, it's still, the spare tire still be accessible, kinda sorta, but that's the way that's looking. That's all I could really, conjure up without any type of fabrication. So put the wires down inside of there, loop them around and everything. Looks good. So now we're getting ready to do a turn on. So let's go up there and put the fuse in and get a turn on going.
Oh, I'ma get it for the night though. DJ play my shit, so I'm finna crank up, I'm finna vent zone. See the money go.